All right, so you're welcome back to the show, but of course it's now time for E-Corner. And just in case you do not know, well, Ghana is once again making global headlines for honoring its cultural ambassadors, and at the launch of the 2025 Diaspora Summit in Accra, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa presented diplomatic passports to 5 distinguished Ghanaians whose influence continues to project the nation on the world stage. Travel vlogger Wudemaya, Grammy-nominated artist Rocky Dawuni, broadcaster and entrepreneur Anita Erskine, contemporary visual artist Ibrahim Mahama, and entrepreneur Denta Amoateng, MBE, all recognized for carrying Ghana's story beyond our borders. Let's take a look.
With the powers conferred on me under NLCD 155, which is the Passports and Travel Certificates Decree of 1967, these 5 very special Africans are going to receive diplomatic passports from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ghana to carry out their mobilization and to continue with the good works that they have already been doing to mobilize people of African descent across the world. And I will provide the list as follows. They are people you know very well, and you will realize that management at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has carefully, very carefully selected these 5 compatriots. So number 1 on the list is the interesting young man, Wudemaya. He has done so much to promote African tourism and to really bring the African people together. And we think that he should be honored with a diplomatic passport to further enhance his work. The second person on our list is Lady Denta Amoateng, who continues to inspire many of us from the work she does all the way in the UK with the Guba Awards. And she's already the toast of the people of the Caribbean. She has a big summit coming up in Barbados. And she continues to really rally the African people across the world. And Lady Denta is very deserving of this. Number 3 on our list, who also needs no introduction, and who has dedicated all his life to advancing the cause of African people, is no other person than the iconic Rocky Dawuni. And I know our ministry will receive some special blessings from Jah Rastafari for this decision. Number 4 on the list, another dynamic lady who needs no introduction, the evergreen, ever creative, and ever inspiring Anita Erskine.
Now, out of the 5 recipients, I'm honored to have 2 with me today on E-Corner, both joining us live via Zoom. Anita Erskine is a celebrated broadcaster and entrepreneur whose work spans media, mentorship, and advocacy for African women in leadership. Rocky Dawuni, however, is an internationally acclaimed Grammy-nominated musician and activist whose voice has championed Ghana on global stages, from the United Nations to the Grammys. And together, they represent 2 powerful dimensions of Ghana's cultural influence. I'm talking media and music. And we'll be exploring what this recognition means, how their work continues to fuel Ghana's global presence, and what really or what kind of responsibility comes with being handed a diplomatic passport? Anita and Rocky, you're welcome to eCorner.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations once again to both of you. Obviously, this is a moment of pride for you and to us as Ghanaians as well.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Anita, let me begin with you. When your name was announced, first of all, were you at the function? And if you were, when your name was announced, in fact, right about now, when we're playing that clip back, I was watching your reaction. You were all, you were smiling. So I'm wondering what was going through your mind in that room, or perhaps you knew beforehand?
Well, Noella, thank you so much. Good morning to everyone, wherever you may be. So I was actually on a panel at a conference. Africa Oil Week was at the Kempinski.
Right.
And I see my gadgets. I was reading my questions from the iPad, and I'm just seeing, Instagram is incessant.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I haven't posted anything. And then so once I finished introducing my speakers, I left the hall and I bumped into Theresa Yawade from Charterhouse, and she screamed, congratulations. And I'm like, I call her Mama Tess. Mama Tess, what's going on? She broke the news to me, and within seconds, Denta Mwating, my good sister, also. So I sent Denta a message and I said, what is this about? And then she just burst out laughing, literally. So I didn't know about it. It was an outstanding surprise. I still quite numb from the excitement of it all. Yeah.
And I mean, personally and professionally, what does this recognition really mean to you?
Well, I think the power of diplomacy essentially is that you have the opportunity, perhaps in a formal, way, of holding that mantle, holding that flag, or carrying that global African story to the world, if you may call it that. I've always said respectfully, yes, it's true, I am a Ghanaian, born and raised, but I see myself African specifically because there's a big African story of which Ghana is a subset. So for me, what it means is continue to do what you do, because we already do the work and we do it with a lot of honor. This is literally an opportunity to continue to serve. But also perhaps be also quite a little bit more intentional, amplify a little bit more, go a bit further. But ultimately, it feels like a country and a nation asking you or giving you a mandate to take the narrative, and we always say Africa has a dual narrative, but to take the narrative of Africa as a prosperous, continent, and take the narrative of Ghana as an exceptional country to the world, and bring the world ultimately to Ghana.
And I love what you just said, being intentional about, propagating the African narrative to the world. It's excellent. Rocky, you have flown the Ghanaian flag on global stages for decades.
Yes.
From the Grammys to the UN, and I mean, the list of feats you've attained is endless. But particularly, what did it mean for you to be formally recognized in this way back home?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate my sister, Anita. When I heard Anita's name, I was like, me and her have met at conferences.
Right.
Morocco, in Doha and all of that, doing my UN work and her hosting events and all of that. So, and for me to, I had just returned from, being one of the headliners for Carifesta Festival that is happening in Barbados, where I had opportunity of also meeting the Prime Minister, who has been a friend of mine for some years now. She, a few years ago, she used the lyrics of one of my songs for her speech at the United Nations. So we developed that bond. And for me, even that moment when she was using my speech for world leaders, it dawned on me as to the work that we have been doing for years.
Yeah, I remember that moment.
Yes, and you've been doing it, just being focused on the path that you're walking, and all of a sudden, a world leader uses those words as a means to address other world leaders. So that type of kind of political, socio-political, and the cultural capital that has been generated, selflessly over these years to promote my country, I feel this recognition, to some extent, for me, is a humbling moment. And then, even funnily enough, because I had just arrived, I was a bit jet lagged, and I got an invitation to attend. So I was like, oh, if there's going to be a diasporian summit in Ghana, this is why I was just coming from Barbados. I should go there and basically engage our people and try to, have these conversations. So in the process of it, when my name was mentioned, it was a big surprise. But you know what? I feel that we are at a place where we have to be, as Anita had said earlier, we have to be deliberate about what we do.
Right.
We have to harness the power that is intrinsic that we have in a way to advance the aspirations of our country, and at the same time to inspire our own people that, we can change the narrative, but it takes us being proactive with what our narrative is before others define that for us.
I love it.
So in an era when everybody, I just came from the United States, everybody's looking inwards. Everybody is trying to look out for their people. So what do we, people of African descent, and especially Ghana, that has flown the flag of the African diaspora and African unity, what are we doing in our leadership mandate to advance this narrative? And I feel that for me, as a personality and as somebody who has been now entrusted with this cultural mandate, it will give me the opportunity to even be more, shall I say, strong in my elevating what Ghana means, elevating African cultural values, elevating the importance of our national agenda, being everything being done for the sake of advancing our own people. Yes.
Brilliant, Rocky. And this is off script. I totally love the sound of Barbados. Maybe one of these days when you're going, you should take me along. Is that a deal?
I will happily bring you along.
Awesome.
I mean, it's an incredible space. And then Barbados is one of the closest land masses to Africa.
Right.
So when our brothers and sisters were being transported, that was a staging ground. And then I visited a lot of the areas where a lot of the slaves had, they disembarked there. And then ships come from various islands from the Caribbean, and then they choose based upon your strength, based upon your capacity, which island you are distributed to. So, when you go and you start seeing how our people were treated and how their situation too is currently, you realize that Africa has to stretch forth its hands to God through the reconnection of its own people.
Interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah, quickly even reiterate something that the last 3-4 years I have been actually collaborating with the former Vice President of Costa Rica, Epsi Campbell, to bring attention to the plight of people of African descent across the Americas. So what we do is that we stage huge concert festivals and we bring activists from all around. The first big one we did was in Costa Rica. Thousands and thousands of people. I headlined the concert with artists from all around the region and activists. And then afterwards, we moved it to Bahia, Brazil, which is the blackest and most Africanized area in that part of the world. People of African descent. And then from there, we brought it to Toronto to engage all the diasporian family over there. And then now we are bringing it to Colombia and then
amazing.
To Spain.
Amazing
I've been
stuff.
doing all of this work, and we are honored that the country is recognizing and giving us the mandate for this.
Very deserving, very deserving, and that's amazing work you've done, and I'm sure you'd continue to do it. But let's now zoom into the bigger picture. I'm talking diplomacy and responsibility. Now, a diplomatic passport, and I'm sure you both agree with me, isn't just a travel document. It's quite symbolic, and with a recognition bestowed on both of you comes with a responsibility to represent Ghana differently. Anita, as a media maven, how do you intend to carry out your responsibility?
Noella, I don't think the carrying out of this responsibility is up to me alone. I think you've said something very powerful. Diplomacy isn't about a one-man show. Diplomacy is the essence of a collective.
Right.
Diplomacy also works with strategy. So one person cannot say, I want to go left. Because if the country says, well, we want to go right, then already your mandate is split in two. So I think with humility, what I would say is a bigger and a firmer grasp of our collective strategy. Diplomacy is about representing a people. What do the Ghanaian people think? What do they want? What are their ideas? What are their ideals? So this journey really begins with that big conversation. And with a conversation, you build a strategy. Then with a strategy, you're able to identify the necessary resources and channels through which you will be able to realize, the ambition of this strategy. So I don't think it's fair to say, well, you know what, Noella, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go there and I'm going to go here. But I do think that at this point, the opportunity that has been bestowed on me, actually the blessing that has been given to me and entrusted in me by the Honorable Minister Ablakwa and his team and the country as a whole, means that there is a responsibility of owning what Ghana needs, owning what West Africa wants, and owning what Africa's ambition is ultimately in the work that I do, and making sure that I wear the armor of neutrality, which is crucial, neutrality, and pride. There's so much to be proud of. Whether our narrative is to the left or right, there's so much to be proud of. Noella, really quickly, I have the honor of working on a variety of projects where I am able to identify the power of women in leadership. I'm able to underline the essence of entrepreneurs and innovation. I'm able to spotlight, citizens, and how gradually we are beginning to understand that we've been powerful this whole time. This whole time we've had power, but how you exert the power and how you use it to achieve your dreams is another thing altogether. So to answer your question, I would love to sit down and together draw this big, broad strategy. Rocky was talking about Barbados. My dear sister, Lady Denta Amwate, taking Guba, for example, to Barbados. And well, I will take you myself. If Rocky doesn't take me, I will take you as my plus one.
I don't take lightly to. I mean, you're promising me.
I say it live on air. I will take you myself.
Okay.
But being able to take Guba to Barbados as an example is as an example of a pillar within the strategy to merge the two continents, or to merge Africa and invite our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and own them. And when I say own them, I don't mean, dilute their essence of being from Barbados or from being Bahamas, but own them as in we have a shared history.
Right.
And in history, there's shared power, and let us achieve our goals together. So hopefully that answers your question.
I love it. And I love the sound of also moving as a collective and being, strategic as well. But Rocky, how can creatives like yourself amplify Ghana's soft power globally in ways that perhaps traditional diplomacy cannot?
Well, the thing is that the concept of creativity and artistry has an innate dimension of diplomacy to it. To be an artist and also transcend your own borders and engage other people in other borders with unique cultures, you have to have the finesse of communication. You have to have cultural insight. You have to have the ability to transcend, the differences. And the power of music sometimes makes it natural for artists to do that. It's second nature. But when you start distilling this attribute, in a way that is tangible, then you start getting into the realms of, politics and realms of true democracy. Myself, I have been one of the people that has really had a lot of success, both off the stage. I have been a United Nations ambassador. My words and my power of diplomacy has been respected on the highest level. I've collaborated with Secretary Generals of the United States. I've sat on a lot of high-level committees with world leaders, and I've had the opportunity of being trained to understand the power that right now my country is handing to me. So for me, I feel that the creative sector, we should look at it critically as to what is contributed to the country. Because, You know, artists, when you travel, let's say you do a concert in a place, you have thousands of people. Everybody wonders, I like your song, but where is the guy from? Okay, he's from Ghana. They go and Google Ghana. Then all of a sudden, Ghana is in their mind. The next time they're having holiday options, honey, where do you want to go? Well, I just saw this artist from Ghana. He's really cool. Maybe we should go there. That is how many thousands of people have made their decision to choose Ghana as a destination. But they don't come to the airport and tell you this was the inceptional dimension of them making that decision. When I released the song in Ghana, you know, several years ago, it was a huge global hit. I remember walking the streets from Tel Aviv to various places. People will be calling me and singing in Ghana word to word to word to word. If right now I'm trying to even capitalize what this song has contributed in terms of inspiring the thousands of people who have made it to these shows, it will be immense. It can be, you know, so that's how much power our artistry, the creativity, the creative industry, and then also having, you know, personalities like Ibrahim Mahama. So we are expanding what creativity means. It doesn't only mean we musicians. You know, the sculptors. I mean, when I spend time in Eburi. When you come here, there's an amazing array of sculptors here. But we are losing that craft because the young people don't want to learn from the older people.
Rocky,
we are having, yes.
I am so much enjoying this. I'm so pissed at my own self and time for having to cut you. But we've got about 2 minutes to wrap up.
Okay,
and
2 minutes. What I'm going to say is that tomorrow I'm doing a big concert in Anumansa, in Elmina. We're going to be celebrating Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And then on November 1, 2, I'm doing another concert too in the northern region at my own traditional village, Bumbong, the Yinujil Yam Festival. It's also part of enhancing brands and culture that is here. We don't have to only do it outside. We have to also elevate and put value to what is here. So tomorrow, everybody, make it to Elmina for the concert. Afterwards, then you continue to Nkrofo the following day on Sunday to go and celebrate Osadefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who has been instrumental in creating this kind of political capital that we are all right now spending everywhere around the world. Yes.
Love it. Love it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the 3 songs you have gifted us with. But Anita, are you working on any project you want us to spotlight?
Well, I always have a new project in line, but I think because, you know, you have such a powerful platform, I want to use this opportunity to say, especially to women, especially to girls, because that is where my heart truly beats, and boys as well. But with special focus on women and our voices and our ability, I want to use this opportunity to say that never doubt what your voice can do. Never doubt who you are. Never doubt what your personality carries. Because yes, it's true. I'm Anita Erskine, and I'm having this opportunity. His Excellency, the Honorable Minister, has granted me an opportunity to carry the flag. But you can also do it. You know, so I want to use this opportunity to tell Ghanaians that there's something we have innately within us, and it is passion. Every Ghanaian is extremely passionate, and it is something nobody can take away from us. Continue to use this passion as a fuel, but more importantly, and Rocky said something about losing the gifts, losing the talent. Understand that skill and talent is what forms this grand vehicle.
Love it.
So be passionate, focus on the skill, etc. But ultimately know that you've got a power within you. Use that power to push your personal and then collective agenda forward.
I love it. And to Anita and Rocky, both of you have been so wholesome this morning. I'm absolutely dreading this moment right now, but hopefully we get to connect some other time and really complete this amazing conversation. Well, thank you so much, Anita.
We'll be in Barbados.
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Wink, wink.
Now I'm thinking of coming again.
Of course you should. Well, Rocky Dawuni and Anita Erskine, 2 voices carrying Ghana's story to the world. And that's it for our show this morning. But we're going to leave you with a taste of Rocky's latest single, I've Got a Song. And until next time, I'm Noella Karanyali, and this has been E-Corner.